hope you're having a very good day. So it's been a while. It's time to do my book and movie reviews for The Lord of the Rings. I'm very excited. I'm so glad I read The Lord of the Rings finally. So let's get started with the book review portion. I'll be reviewing the books as a whole because it is one entire story divided into 3 parts. The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers. Third part is The Return of the King. If you don't know what The Lord of the Rings is all about, let me tell you. The plot revolves all on the One Ring. The One Ring to rule them all, the One Ring to find them, the One Ring to bring them all, and in the darkness find them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. The plot revolves around the One Ring, the ring that was created by Sauron, and he's a bad dude. He's an evil guy. This One Ring rules all the other rings. 3 rings were given to the elves, 9 rings to men, and 7 rings to the dwarves. And apparently this One Ring kicks all of their asses. In The Lord of the Rings, Frodo has to destroy this One Ring. He is not alone at all in this adventure. The Fellowship of the Ring is formed, and it's amazing. It's fantastic. So first, guys, let's talk about the characters, the amazing characters. Oh my gosh. I loved all of the characters, especially within the Fellowship. I felt the characters were so well developed. I was loving the different personalities within the Fellowship. We have Frodo Baggins, the ring bearer, and accompanying him is Sam Gamgee, his best friend. Bromance alert. Fantastic. Sam is also a hobbit along with Merry and Pippin. What I loved most about the hobbits was that they were underdogs, and I love a really great underdog story. We also have Aragorn and Boromir, who are repping for the men. We also have Gimli, son of Gloin, who is repping for the dwarves, and Legolas, who's repping for the elves. And of course, we cannot forget Gandalf the Wizard, Gandalf the Grey. What I loved about The Lord of the Rings, about this story, was there was no main character. Yes, there was Frodo, who was the ring bearer. He had this weight and responsibility on his shoulders to do this immense, enormous task. But without the Fellowship, he would have a very difficult time of achieving that task. All of them played a part in helping Frodo, as well as Eomer and Eowyn and King Theoden. Very likable characters. They were very admirable, very loyal, very determined. I love the determination. They're just noble, upstanding characters. And the relationships going on within the Fellowship, let me say again, bromance. Love the bromance. There was an overwhelming amount of bromance, which I adored. We have Merry and Pippin and Frodo and Samwise. Awesome bromance there. And Aragorn, he has a bromance with pretty much everyone. He has chemistry with everyone. But my favorite bromance would have to be Legolas and Gimli. I just love those two within the book. You know, we have a dwarf and we have an elf. Their races don't get along too well, apparently, in the books. And to see them come together and be such close friends. I love how they were, you know, keeping count with the orc necks they were hacking down. That was freaking amazing and hilarious. Just the amount of friendship, loyalty, camaraderie among these characters were just great. It was awesome. And of course, I have to mention Eowyn. She was repping for the ladies. She was strong. She was awesome. She kicked ass. She actually really surprised me in the books in her role in The Return of the King. All of these characters were just... Next, guys, let's talk about the plot. Out of the 3 parts, The Fellowship of the Ring was actually my favorite, and it kind of goes down in order. Fellowship of the Ring was my favorite, then my second favorite was Two Towers, and my third favorite was Return of the King. They're all still very good. I just loved the introduction to the world, Middle-earth, and of course, the forming of the Fellowship of the Ring. But yes, Two Towers, Return of the King, excellent books as well. But I love The Fellowship of the Ring. Just classic imagery, classic scenes, on point. Excellent. Throughout the 3 books, you get action, you get adventure, you get an overwhelming amount of world building and the different setting changes. It's so full you realize you're there. It took me a while to get into the setting to understand where certain places were, and the maps were definitely helpful. Love the maps. Once I got into the flow of the story and familiarized with the landscape and where certain places were, I was like in the zone. I was right there in Middle-earth. If you drop me right within Middle-earth, say in Isengard, I would like hightail it out of there because there's freaking orcs and Saruman, he's mad, and go over the Misty Mountains or down Anduin River and, you know, all of these really cool places. Let's go to Gondor and, you know, see the king King. Definitely my favorite places were the elf places when we met the elves in Rivendell and in Lothlorien, and of course in Two Towers, Boromir, Helm's Deep, that was. And the Ents are amazing. Another great character within the world of the Lord of the Rings, fantastic. And of course in the Return of the King, the setting really takes place in Minas Tirith. The Sam and Frodo love blossoms, and yeah. My only thing about the Lord of the Rings is the flow of the story. And if you read the Lord of the Rings, you know. In Two Towers and Return of the King, the books kind of break up into focusing on one set of characters, and then towards the end of the book, 3/4 of the book, it focuses on another set of characters. So you're kind of like going at a really good pace throughout the beginning, middle of the book, and then you're like yanked back into a slower paced flow. It was a bit weird. That kind of really stood out to me, which I thought was kind of odd, but yeah, overall plot was awesome. And lastly guys, the writing. I thought it was good. The descriptive writing, beautiful in some instances, very well done. The narration at times, I will admit, I don't know if I was sleepy or tired, I was kind of nodding off a little bit. But for the most part, I was pretty engaged throughout all 3 books. I really adored how there was so much dialogue. This constant dialogue and interaction with the different characters was really great. I was really glad that the amount of dialogue really balanced out the descriptive and narrative writing. And again, the world building is fantastic. How J.R.R. Tolkien described the world and the setting of Middle-earth. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give the Fellowship of the Ring 5 stars out of 5. The Two Towers, 4.5 out of 5. And The Return of the King, 4 out of 5 stars. The ending, not the ending, the chapter before that was like odd. But overall, I would give this a readable. Go read it. I haven't given that rating in so long. Definitely a book that is worth rereading. I think I read it way too quickly and I didn't absorb all of the awesomeness that is the Lord of the Rings. So next guys, I'm here to review the Lord of the Rings movies extended edition, guys. Box set. It's awesome. Aragorn, Frodo, Arwen. I think Eowyn deserves a spot in here. So The Fellowship of the Ring came out over 10 years ago. Two Towers was released right after in 2002, and The Return of the King released after that in 2003. Let's name some of the awesome actors. We have Elijah Wood as Frodo, Sean Astin as Samwise, Sean Bean as Boromir, Viggo Mortensen as freaking Aragorn, Ian McKellen as Gandalf, Billy Boyd as Pippin, Dominic Monaghan as Merry, Orlando Bloom as Legolas, and John Rhys Davies as Gimli. And The Fellowship right there. They were so young back then. Oh my gosh, it's been 10 years. Especially Sean Bean. He looks really good. Let's talk about the acting. The acting is fantastic. I would have to tip my hat specifically to Sean Astin and Sean Bean, the Seans, Sam and Boromir. He was really good, as well as Sean Astin throughout the movies. I thought he had a lot of heart, like Sam. He was so cute. Can I say, did I forget to say all of them are cute? Especially the hobbits. I think they're just adorable. I would say Sean Astin / Sam was my favorite character throughout the series. I don't know, they're just... yeah, with all of the actors within the Fellowship and in the movie, the chemistry on screen was fantastic. Let's talk about the visual effects. The Lord of the Rings wouldn't have been possible without the amazingness of the visual effects. And I would say from the first movie to the third movie, there's a gradual improvement with the visual effects. In the first movie, it's still very, very good. How they portrayed Rivendell and Lothlorien, stunning. I've been slowly going through the special features of the Blu-rays and how they filmed the actors, the miniatures and the bigatures of the different settings like Rivendell and Lothlorien, and the effort and craftsmanship put into the movies. It's amazing. How do you get a job creating models? I want that job. And the costume design and the makeup design, it looks really great. and the visual grading, how they got the look of the film from Hobbiton and in the mines of Moria and Rivendell and in Mordor. There's like range of color variation to portray the mood of the scene and what was going on. It's just visually stunning. They probably did something to the actors' eyes because they're so blue and deep like an ocean. You could just fall in to all of that. They were so blue. Of course, let's not forget about the score and soundtrack. The sound design, well done. Score, well done. I cry at the beauty of the score. It's so well done. I had to download a few of the score tracks to listen to. Yeah, concerning The Hobbit, I love that score. I want to go to Shire. Let's party with the Hobbits. Yeah, I felt that the Lord of the Rings movie adaptation was very well done. As far as the differences are concerned, one that stood out to me the most is the flow of the movies. The movie flowed much better, I felt. The focus of different characters switched back and forth, so it wasn't like you focused on one set of characters and then at the end you focused on another set of characters. I asked my lovely Twitter followers what I should do first. Watch each movie after finishing each book, or if I should like read the books first then watch all the movies. Everybody was super accommodating. The ladies at Get Bookish mentioned that the movies don't end at the same points as in the books. That is totally true. They don't end at the same place as in the books. So I appreciate that, girls, ladies, everyone. If you haven't checked either, definitely read the books first, then watch the movies, then reread the books afterwards, because that's something I need to do. Of course, there were some characters missing. I understood that some of the characters didn't really push the plot forward, so you know, that's fine. But I wanted to see Tom Bombadil, seriously. There's definitely much more focus on Arwen. I appreciated that there was more of a spotlight on her character because in the book she doesn't really have much of a presence. Her character is very important to one of the other characters. Also, Saruman, people, those who have read the books, watched the movies, that was definitely different in the movies. I think I preferred the movies, how that was kind of handled better, because as I said before, is that spoiling it? I hope not. Anyways, I just prefer that. And I really liked in the movies how there are aspects of the book that we didn't really get to see. Gandalf especially, he's still elusive and mysterious as ever. He just, you know, just takes off. It's like, I'll be back in a couple days, just wait for me. And it's like, okay, sure. Gandalf pretty much is probably the primary character that we see what's happened to him. So I think that's what they're gonna do in The Hobbit as well, because we see Galadriel. You don't read about her in The Hobbit. So yeah, so I really appreciated that the movies got more in depth into aspects of the book that you didn't read about or got little detail or information on. And of course the movies acknowledged the poems and the songs. Of course not as much as in the book, but they were still there, which I really liked. And just, again, the music, the score, just beautiful. Lovely. One thing that I was a bit disappointed about in the film was the lack of romance. I did say there was really great chemistry amongst the fellowship, but not enough. Not enough. It was like half that compared to that in the book. I definitely wanted more Legolas, Gimli love. Although the bromance was really cool between Frodo and Sam, there are parts of the book, I don't know if it was because of the flow, but they weren't my favorite, you know, aspect of the book. A little bit, but in the movie it was just so well done. I loved their scenes so much, especially with Sam. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to give The Lord of the Rings, the movies, 5 stars out of 5. Come on now. Come on now. Just fantastic films all together. And I'm so excited for The Hobbit. I think the movies will do The Hobbit justice. What I appreciated about the films of The Lord of the Rings, it kind of expanded on parts that, again, we didn't know too much about, a little information or detail. And The Hobbit, there was definitely things missing, things that I wanted, especially with the dwarves. The dwarves look fantastic. I love Gimli, son of Gloin. Oh my gosh, and I'm so excited to see Gloin. Yeah, definitely a classic for sure, timeless. So that's everything, guys. Have a very good day. I will talk to you later. Yeah, bye. Oh, and the ring race. Oh my gosh, there's definitely a lot more things that I probably forgot to talk about, so let's discuss in the comments. I forgot about the ring race. Excellent characters, badass, along with the orcs. scary dudes, so